because it's just evapotranspiration. It's lost from the area. It will go around some another district or another side. So you are losing the water from your area. So that is the one aspect, how to minimize this consumptive water use. That's what we're talking here. And since we're talking about the water is always limited, and the basic challenges, what are the major challenges? My earlier friend here also talked about the issues of the water management. So basically we're talking here, since the population is ever growing, so yeah, that is one big challenge. But once the population is growing, we have to feed them. We have to increase the agricultural productivity, or we have to expand the agricultural activity. So that is another issue, that water is becoming more scarce. And then if you go to the another point, because it's sometimes not using the water, but we are deteriorating the water quality, because we are making the water less suitable for our use. So that is also another issue of why the water shortage is becoming more problematic in this state, because we are taking our wastewater or any domestic wastewater into nearby water canal or directly into the river. So that is also another issue that we are facing right now. And so because if you see, people like this time, because one of the fastest growing economy in Asia, and India is also one. So what is happening is their life standard is increasing. Maybe you are having more life standard, means you are using luxurious toilet, maybe flushing. Yeah, so because initially you used to have like a bucket toilet, less water was used for the flushing, but increasing the life standard means you are also increasing the water consumption. So what is happening, eventually it increases the water demand, again increases the burden to the available water. So that is also in the lifestyle is important. And the climate change, of course, it's a climate change is a little bit, it's a broadly used concept. So what I would say, like due to the climate change, there is changes in the occurrence of there is changes in the rainfall pattern. Sometimes you get high rainfall, sometimes you have less rainfall. So this kind of the erratic, fluctuating environment makes the water less available or less being captured into the ground. So that is also one of the big issues for water management perspective. So again, maybe I am going to add, because some slides are not duplicating, but something in a similar manner. So here, maybe my colleague already mentioned about integrated water resource management. So this is again to give you the little bit idea about why or what is happening if we don't have the integrated water resource management. So in this figure you can see the river, maybe your Godavari river or any river basin, it's passing from some upstream to the downstream. So there are multiple users or multiple, users group. So what is happening is, if there is no integrated river water basin management system, so the people living in the upstream, let's say they are doing some agriculture or some economic activity, and if they use some, let's say, high fertilizer to enhance the agricultural productivity, or if they deforest to get their timber for their daily requirement or the construction of some structure, so it's ultimately reducing either water in from the upstream, or they are releasing their nutrients, let's say urea or nitrogenous into the water body. So what is happening is ultimately it is affecting the lower downstream. Even you can see some in the middle of the river, you can see that the industry, if the industry is not treating their wastewater and draining into the river, so it will ultimately come to the sea, then again it is disturbing the fisherman community activity. So when we talk about the water management, so we have to deal this from all as one basin, as one family, one group. So don't think about this issue in the middle or in the downstream. So that's the integrated water resource management we are talking here. So maybe this very common terminology. Have you heard about watershed, river basin, right? So maybe the key message here is river basin, because everywhere when you go for any seminar, they will talk about the river basin, watershed management. So the catchment, you sometimes may heard about catchment. Okay. So in the water resource management, we are talking about we should have demarcation, or we should have management plan, not only the district, not only administrative boundary. It's supposed to be from the watershed boundary, right? So watershed is the area like our kitchen basin, like the water, whatever you drop in the basin, it will go to the one drain pipe, right? So the water basin is also the same concept. It's an area, whatever the rainfall occurs within any point, it will come into the single drainage channel. So that's the meaning. So watershed, right? So when you talk about the management of the water downstream, so we have to think from the whole watershed. So from whole basin perspective, right? From the upstream, middle, and the downstream. So that is the one key message to you or all who works in the water resource management. So we should follow or we should try to adopt integrated water resource management which rely on the basin approach or watershed approach. So we have to look from that perspective, from the water resource management. And again, maybe this is another information, because when you talk about the water resource management or fulfilling the demand of the water shortage, there are different stages, right? So basically at the first stage, every country, now India maybe first and second intermediate, and Nepal the first stage. So what we are doing is we are trying to construct dam. We are trying to build some physical infrastructure, right? Some structural measure to reserve or to preserve the water or then continuously supply. So that is the first step. But I think that is not sustainable. So this is the first step, it is very important. But the second step, maybe here. Sorry, maybe can you back. Okay, so maybe there is some demarcation, but the second phase is, like for example, we should use the proper, like we should have some modeling approach. Which area, which sector supposed to be supplied, supposed to be promoted by the continuous water use. We should have some like the knowledge sharing, we should have the weather forecast, we should have the river discharge, all those scientific information. So second stage, we try to optimize the water resource management by applying the knowledge of the remote sensing, by applying the modeling, by applying the forecasting device. So that is the second phase. So maybe we are at the stage of the second phase where we are trying to use this kind of model to manage the water resource management. But ultimately, again, so we have two major sides. One is the supply side, one is the demand side, right? So again, what we are talking about is our demand oriented. We are just trying to focus what is the demand and how to manage this one. But finally, like most of the developed countries, they are entering the third phase. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to increase the efficiency, right? Because we are very familiar about our water shortage. It's not only the less amount of the water, but there is there is high water leakage. Because whenever water is supplied, it's not properly delivered to the consumer. So there is structural, less efficient. Our system is not efficient. There is a high percentage of the water. Our toilet facilities are using more water. So we have to think about how to enhance or how to manage the water by making more, increasing the efficiency, performance of our either distribution system or water using facilities in your house, office, or whatever. So that is the final thing what we can do to establish sustainable water. Yeah. So now, maybe before going another section, so the key message, maybe I realize maybe I should have some key takeaway message to you. So because we talk about many issues, so what I'm saying is water is very precious, it's renewable, you can use it, but try to use in a way that it can go into the ground. It doesn't, it's not directly get into the river or into the sea, which cannot. And also, we should make our waste in some level, should treat the waste in a level so that it can get into the nearby water bodies, but without harming or without deteriorating the water impact. So I think that is the one message. And the second one is you should think about the water basin concept, just your kitchen basin. So try to think about or try to adopt some measure in a basin approach rather than administrative approach. So that would also help to manage. And the third one is, which of course, the first stage is a structural measure to enhance or to fulfill the water demand. But besides that, try to add that management system with some modeling approach, some future and further forecasting approach, and also use water efficient technology. So that can help to, some water management to meet the increasing water demand or to meet this climate change impact. So I think these are the key messages from my first presentation. But second is somehow related. I would like to link water and sanitation, because if you look like such SDG, someone already said there are 17. So one of the SDG goal is to have, because water and sanitation is the basic human rights. Everybody should have access to those kind of things. So we want 2030, everybody in the world globally should have those basic, the basic needs. So that is something connected. So I would like to say why water and sanitation is very closely here. So our project is also talking about water, but which is also related about somehow wastewater management. So this is the scenario as I already briefed everything. So again, because we are not only having the less water, but another concern is we are deteriorating the available water by inappropriate handling of our toilet wastewater or other industrial wastewater. So these are the examples, right? So how we are deteriorating and how it can, we're coming back to the human society. So basically, there are different forms of wastewater. It's a very broad concept. Maybe as a person, as a household wastewater, that we're talking about our excreta, human excreta, and the urines, these kind of things. And industrial wastewater, there is also some commercial and agricultural wastewater. So basically, today I'm going to talk about the person, like the individual household or domestic wastewater, how it can be handled or why it is important. So basically, when we talk about the human excreta, they are very, enriched with the pathogen or some microbes, and they are able to conduct, transfer some sort of the disease to the large community. And they are also rich in the organic content. If you direct it into the river or the water, it can deteriorate the water environment, which is crucial for aquatic environment and also some other purpose. So we have to look at that one very carefully. Okay, this is some statistics. So I think India is also the country is facing with the lack of or practicing the open defecation. But in last couple of the years, India has made significant progress in providing the good sanitation. So this is the worldwide, some sanitation statistics. So what are the important things? Because now we are talking about the SDG. So I would like to recall about MDG, Millennium Development Goals, right? So because Millennium Development Goal, so that time there was another target, because they started in 1990. The old sanitation coverage was 54%, and they would like to achieve, or they would like to reduce those not having the sanitation by 50% by 2050. So their target was to increase global sanitation coverage by 77%. But what happened is they improved, because in that period they constructed or they provided a lot of the toilet facilities, but finally eventually they lagged behind the target. But there was significant improvement in the toilet coverage. So I would say there was significant improvement, but this SDG, covered by the MDG, we are now at the stage of the Sustainable Development Goal, and we would like to have 100% coverage. That is our mission right now. So maybe here, the things, what I would like to say is, the basic concept we have, having the toilet will improve our life, or our economic burden will be reduced down, or economic prosperity will be increased. But it's so true. But the things what happened in the last few years ago, what we are doing in our campaign, because you can see there is some maybe statistics about, because these countries have already the good facilities of the toilet, but they have also the problem with the waterborne diseases, foodborne diseases are very common. So the issue here is, if you see the economic burden of the poor sanitation is again increasing. So the concern here is MDG. We invest a lot of money, we invest a lot of effort to increase the sanitation coverage, we improve, but still the economic burden is increasing. So what I mean is, only having the physical structure is not enough. It's just you have area, you can go, nobody will see you, you hide yourself, you can do the defecation, but that is not complete sanitation. but that is not, able to fulfill the real objective of sanitation. So you can see here that India is one of the topmost countries where the countries that are losing their GDP. It's like 5.2% of the GDP is due to the poor sanitation. So this is also one of the countries that are having high amount of the economic losses due to the sanitation here. So this is the structure that we provided in the last couple of the years. So you can see maybe the important thing here is the structure, the design, and the behavior change. Because once you have this kind of a toilet, what we call it the improved toilet, but it is not improved, it is not completely able to treat or handle all the waste. It's directly going to your nearby with the water source. So we have to have some proper design, right? So one of the things is we don't only consider about the physical facility, we should think about how to, where to, or technical, so how to handle in the appropriate in a complete package, not as a single approach, right? So second example I can give you here, this is these houses, this is not maybe from the Thailand picture, we are using this kind of the reed system. Basically when we talk about the sanitation, we are having two types, one is septic tank, one is cesspool or cesspit. So this septic tank in the left hand side, you can see it's a water tight system. So there is a inlet and the outlet. So there is a less chance to contaminate the groundwater or your water supply. But another one is the cement lid. It has an open bottom, means it will directly infiltrate into the water. So all your waste, when you flush the toilet, solid and liquid mix together, what we call as the black water, it goes into your septic tank and it directly infiltrates. So that is not good. That can deteriorate your nearby water quality, and people are using by the deep well or any other hand pump or another dog well. So that is one of the problems that we are not able to enhance their health. So this is one example. This is just a figure to share with you. And another example here, maybe I'm not familiar with this graph, like this kind of thing. I did not have so time for having learned about the situation of sanitation about this city, but I hope you have some few percent, part of the sanitation is the sewer system, everything go to the centralized treatment plant, and basically most of the houses may have some unit collect the excreta, and I think basically India is also end up in this kind of system. So what we call is here, maybe the previous one, you can have some on-site sanitation system here. I put like a few one, decentralized wastewater treatment system, normally septic tank or the cesspool. But eventually this is just for the primary treatment purpose, just to sedimentation, basic sedimentation, solid will settle down, liquid will come out. But that liquid is not free of pathogen. That is not fully treated one. But normally what we do is we normally drain into the river. So that is one thing we have to improve. And the second thing is the unit or this device has a limited capacity. So it can be filled up after maybe 5 years depending on the user number or the condition. So that has to be empty. That has to be clear. So by using some sort of vacuum truck. So maybe the problem here is still we are maybe using, we are calling some company or service provider, okay, can you come to my house and take away my sludge? So they will come and they will pay a certain amount depending on the tariff. So they will take out. But the problem is it's not taking, it's supposed to take into some treatment plant. But they are also due to different reasons, they don't want to, they spend their fuel to go to the further way, so they just take nearby river or the field. So again it comes into the public contract. So that is the main issue in our MDC. We did not focus on this, how to handle with this fecal sludge. Normally we call septage. In India it's very famous septage, but also it's technical, you can also say another term like a fecal sludge. So these are one issue. This is the one example even in Thailand, where 100% toilet coverage, better sanitation, but 90% of the fecal sludge or the septage still goes into their river or into the field. So in India, in Nepal, in many developing countries, this situation is happening. So we have to think about how to, or we should promote our city planner to have this kind of system. So this is just example, like how your toilet waste after having that certain amount of the fill up, then go to either this kind of the water bottle. So So again, I'm going to conclude my presentation, talking again, bringing back to the sustainable sanitation, but it's also sustainable water management. So whatever we talk is closely interlinked. So here, basically in the center, like the one compartment, one building, one housing structure we can see. So it's basically we need the water from our nearby the water resources. It could be the ground or it could be the river. So again, the another thing is for our livelihood, we need some food. So from the agriculture. So these are basically the input for any livelihood or any human activity. So what is happening is our approach currently is not sustainable. So what we do is when you eat this kind of things or we consume the water, it comes as a wastewater form. That is when draining into the sea or some nearby the water body. That is also getting deteriorated, which is not further able to reuse for our humankind. The secondary thing is the grain or the food that we receive from the agriculture and the waste that will come in the form of the excreta or some other organic matter that is also not being reused or not being fertilized or not being used as a purpose. So again, it goes into the form of the pollution to the land. So when you see the lower side of my picture, so everything is unsustainable way. But the same diagram is go to the up side. So what you can see is if we have some system that can treat the wastewater and recharge our groundwater, or that fertilizer can be used as a agriculture input. So this kind of the system we have to think about to make the world sustainable. So here, maybe this is the one example what I would like to say from the New Zealand. So the human development, because when we think about most of the countries, even now developing country India, they are ADB, they are giving money to make the centralized sewer system. But this is okay, this is good to have. But the problem is many developing countries, they cannot afford, right? Even in Nepal, a lot of JICA, the company come and they build, but after they return, they are not able to handle, not able to operate in a good way. They are cost intensive, they need heavy energy, they need human technical. So ultimately they fail. Some of the wastewater plants we visited, it's not working anymore. So the thing here is how to make sustainable. How to make the things sustainable so that the local people can use. So even the developing countries, what they are doing is the central sewer system is good, but ultimately it's not sustainable for other developing countries. So now we have to think about decentralized. We have to think about small community-based the treatment system, like every house should have some septic tank, then we should have some truck to collect those kind of septic and go to the treatment plant. Maybe India is also doing good and we are also learning much more for how to handle this one. And then that should be treated properly and that should be bring back to the agriculture. So that makes the circular again, economy or our system is sustainable. So we are more promoting on how to make this system more sustainable. Right, so this is the final, some diagram how the system comes. So you can see every house should own some sort of the device, and then it comes to the truck and it should be treated and it should be used as a soil conditioner or some sort of fertilizer. But again, maybe there are several bottlenecks and something. So the thing is on my other colleague also commitment, the government the regulation, advocacy, management. So these are the key things we have to improve side by side to make it sustainable. So I think I would like to say this is the way maybe we can go, not only for improving the health and sanitation, but it will also increasing the water resources, protecting the water resources, and making available for our all economic and human activities in society. I think this could be the one good approach. Yeah. So I think this is some kind of slide. So thank you very much. I think I have a very general perspective, so I think you may have some questions. You can ask me. I will be happy to respond. Please.
Any questions? Sarah. Anna Nakara. countries have morely focused on advanced technology. So India is a developing country. Technology is very useful nowadays. So my question is, as Sir Gita Mohan sir said that water once used it is flowing into drainages, it is polluted. So is there any advanced technology method if water is polluted, and again we are all very well known recycle process? Advanced technology is there in that process in by purifying that water? That's my question.
Hello. Thank you very much for your question. First of all, maybe I would like to clarify the sustainable water resource management or sustainable sanitation is not necessary to have high-tech technology. Maybe in my slide, at the concluding slide, I tried to mention we should use the local or some feasible, economically feasible, right, and socially acceptable, and economically viable. We talk like these three concepts. So to make the system sustainable, the technology should be economically viable. If some high-tech, like for example, Japan, like they are adopting some high-tech, if it is applied in India or Nepal or any developing Bangladesh, so maybe they are not able to afford. So I don't really want to say should be the high-tech, should be the, takes high-tech, but should be economically, it should return some economic benefit to the society, and should be social. Like some of the things, if I say, please use the women excreta for your agriculture, but some of the society, like Muslim society, they totally, deny. This is not acceptable. So it should be socially acceptable, whether my recommended technology is socially fit for the community or not. So these are the three things you have to consider. And coming to your point again, there are plenty of technology. There are plenty of technology which are available to combat or to apply to handle those kind of the waste. Either it is coming from domestic or some like this kind of the institution or some sort of the industry. So there are a lot of technology, and I would like to say you can go with a very simple sign filtration. This kind of filtration, there is a micro, nano, ultra, different types of the filtration system is available. And this is not new for India, because we visited to the Vizag steel plant. They are totally recycling. They are using all the wastewater coming from their township, like their employee water. So they are using the technology. So India is already adopting this kind of technology. So we have a lot of technology. It's not necessary to use high-tech or costly. You can go with the local super area, and that will be the benefit for us.
How the groundwater is formed? Could you please explain?
How the groundwater is formed? Okay. So actually, maybe you are using some sort of like kitchen, like a foam, like when you use some, the foam to wash the dishes, right? There is a lot of pore, like when you use a lot of water will come, right? So if you look to the soil, right? So they have a lot of, like you can see there is a lot of vicinity, there is a pore space under the ground, depending on the structure or depending on the area, depending on the topography or the area. So actually our soil is not like totally fully sealed. It has a lot of space. It has a lot of open space, what we call the porosity. Like when you put some water, it will have ability to absorb. So the basic source of the groundwater is the rainwater or the river water. So when it passes either the river or the rainfall occurs, so it will just infiltrate. So they have certain capacity to capture. If it is behind the capacity, it will go to the river. It will mix into the river flow. So what we call base flow and something. So actually, the basic source is the rainfall. And depending on the soil characteristics, it has some ability, basically the space between the soil, what we call is the porous space.
Depending upon the soil fertility, it will space.
Soil fertility?
Depending on the soil fertility, it will form.
Not soil fertility, because soil is again mixture of various minerals and organic matter, right? Soil, when you can see your map, some hole, right? Some points, like these are like ear between, like filled by the ear. So that area will be occupied with the water. Under the ground.
Crust, we have 3 layers, right?
It's not going that deep. So just think about like you have like 2 to 3 meters or something even. Yeah. It's from shallow water. We have 2 different types of the water. One is the shallow groundwater, what we call is directly discharged from the rainfall. Another is the fossils or the deep groundwater. It's very underground. Maybe it goes to the rock level. Right? So what we're talking about is shallow groundwater, which is currently discharged by the rainfall. It has open, like the top is the open, it's not like giving, not any, like there is no cover, so it's like permeable, everything is infiltrated, and it will go into the ground, depending on your capacity.
Any measures to increase the groundwater level?
Yes, you should have a rainwater harvesting system or any other measure that can prevent the runoff, so that it can allow the enough time to infiltrate. So basically what we try to do is we promote to enhance the infiltration, because now the development, what we call a lot of cementing, like we are hitting the ground, we are making the house very nice, making the concrete, this kind of things in our backyard and even in the front, right? So everything is bad. So it is not useful for groundwater discharge perspective. So what we have to see is the bare land or even constructing some of the pits, and that will inject all the water from that local area, and that will give the enough time to go into the ground. So that's something we can see.
Hydrological cycle plays a crucial role in this.
Of course, the basic input is the rainfall. So if you have already your disturbed hydrological cycle, means evaporation, condensation, transport, and precipitation. So it's a key cycle. So the rainfall is the basic.
Because of this, we are dependent.
Yes, yeah. So should have a good rainfall, and if we have already disturbed or something due to the climate, we should have some structural device to enhance the infiltration. So that help. Thank you.
Because social media are important even for us, so if you don't want, just hide your face. Is that okay for you? Yes. Great. So we stand there. You stand there? Yeah, you stand there. You have
Gita Mohan garu studied at Andhra University here, and he is a part of Nannaya University also. Because he PhD work doing it Nannaya University at Professor C. Ratnanga. I was studying first year. Next, Julia Roder, madam, please come and give a big hand. Then is Saroj Kumar Chapagain, please come. Ladies and gentlemen, please encourage. Nice presentation given by the Saroj Kumar Chapagain. And today's president,
I'm on. It's okay. Okay, come.